Welcome everybody to our coffee talk here in the Hanau IT Cube at Evonik. My name is Frey and I'm head of the Sustainability and Efficiency Department in Process Technology. The good news is I'm not alone here today, so I have two colleagues with me, Matthias Blug and Thilo Krapfl. Welcome. Nice to see you and meet you. Maybe you can introduce yourself, Matthias, please.
Yeah, hi, I'm Matthias Blug. I'm responsible for the climate neutrality roadmap of the business line Animal Nutrition at Evonik.
And how about you, Thilo?
I'm in the business line Oil Additives, responsible for the industrial marketing. And that's also where we have anchored our sustainability roadmap.
So there were already some really important keywords. We're coming from the EAGER project, where we had a look in measures that we want to implement to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. And I'm part of the Beyond EAGER core team. And within that core team, we are in close contact with you as colleagues from business. So what exactly is your view on the measures we are starting to implement? How is it going in your business, Thilo?
Yeah, let me start with a quick overview of the business itself. So we provide additives for the lubricants industry. And what these additives do is they lead to lubricants that can then enhance the efficiency of a machine, of a car, of a truck. And that by itself already means there's a significant benefit of these products when they are actually used in their application. So it would be easy for us to simply say, okay, let's lean back, and we have a great value proposition and a great achievement already in the use phase. So we can just forget about our own product carbon footprint. But that would actually turn that whole message on its head. So we're trying to be very active in reducing our own product carbon footprint, even if it's only a small portion of the overall then full life cycle of such a product. And that's where such a project like EAGER helps us tremendously, because we can then actively work on measures to reduce our own footprint.
Thank you for telling us about the oil additive business. I know that your business, Matthias, is completely different, animal nutrition. Could you tell us a bit more about it, please?
Yeah, we're selling feed additives that go into the agricultural sector. And sustainability is a central pillar of this business. And our products have a significant impact when it comes to the feed conversion efficiency in meat production, and therefore have a great impact. And our customers, and therefore from our point of view, it's also important that we work on future-proofing our own products and reducing their CO2 emissions.
So I think one important point you just mentioned is that it's not only CO2 emissions, it's much more than that. At the moment, there is a strong focus on the CO2 emissions, but it really shows that when we look into biodiversity or water savings, that there is a holistic approach necessary, which is basically what we try in our Beyond EAGER project. So as I already said in the beginning, at the moment, we are focusing on the implementation of measures until 2030 to make sure that we meet our CO2 emission reduction targets, but also looking beyond 2030. So what is that what you get as questions or requests from your customers? Are they really pushy on these topics, or do they just lay back and let us do? What is your experience here, Matthias?
Yeah, more and more companies also in the food production chain are setting themselves science-based targets. And of course, they also give these requests to us, and they are more and more asking also for validated data on our products and expect from us that we can deliver them, for example, carbon footprints and other emissions data on our products. So we really see their development that is going forward.
Is it the same in your business? I mean, it's a really huge difference between your two businesses. So are there similarities?
Yeah, it's been actually quite a journey over the last few years, because I would even call it a bit of a revolution. If you look at our value chain, we as additive provider sell directly to the big lubricant manufacturers, and those are typically the big oil companies, so Shell, BP, Total, Chevron, Exxon, and the likes. And if you think about it, just 3 years ago, they did not have such targets. But now they have all committed to, as Matthias just mentioned, very specific targets for their own CO2 neutrality roadmap. And in turn, they're now pushing this in the value chain. And it goes even beyond these lubricant manufacturers. If you look at then further down the value chain, the original equipment manufacturers, the OEMs, be it automotive OEMs or excavator OEMs, any machine producer, they have also set targets. So it becomes a real almost like a domino effect through the value chain, where there's real pressure for each participant in this value chain to take specific measures. And that's where we can play a very important role, because we can add significant value if we can already go beyond, let's say, just the first few % reductions. If we can already show to our customers there is a pathway towards a CO2 neutral product, by, for example, using completely new raw materials, then that is very welcome, and customers are actually already actively asking for such proposals.
Before I ask the next question, maybe it's only me, could you say what OEMs are, please?
Sure, that's the original equipment manufacturers. So any company that produces a specific machine, car, truck, or so on, that's a specific term for them.
Yeah, but basically the next question would be, if we look into the global situation, I think, and you mentioned it as well, we really recognize that there are different site conditions depending in which country you are, or what basically the site has, what kind of infrastructure is available. How important is that in your roadmap? How do you take account of that?
Yeah, good point that you mentioned, because if I look at our manufacturing footprint that we have across the globe, then each site has a very different setup. And so if we aim for reducing the scope 1, 2 emissions of those production sites, then we need to look at, well, where do these come from? And for us, we have a batch process. It's very much electricity and steam. Those are the two elements. And if I take the example of electricity, there we have now converted to green electricity in all of our sites via the certificates, but we don't stop there. We're also actively looking at what can we install in our sites, for example, in Singapore, looking at solar panels. And then on the steam side, we're looking at, for example, how can we produce steam versus the current gas combustion? Can we switch to green electricity? That's something we're looking at for our production site in Canada.
That's good to hear. So the keyword here is local value chains. What are your experiences here in animal nutrition?
Yeah, it's very similar. We also have production sites all over the world in different continents, and we also experience that it's very important to have a look at the local situation and to really track down on what is available in terms of raw materials and energy sources. And that's a really crucial factor for really implementing measures that then lead to emission savings, for example. And also taking into account the local situation is very important. Even if our processes look completely different and we are almost all the time running continuous processes.
Yeah, Matthias and Thilo, thank you for being with me today and having this nice coffee talk about our roadmap towards carbon neutrality. There will be a second part, and for all of you, stay tuned. And for the two of you, thank you for being here with me today. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Evonik, leading beyond chemistry.